Hey guys, Boston Bruce here with a little recap video after 11.3, also to go over some of my mistakes. Let's start with the first one. I shorted myself $1, so I should be at 57. And I also had the Far East come in at 5. I believe they're at 4. Everybody else should be correct, I hope. Same thing with the tech shot. I made another boo-boo. Thanks for the viewers. Pointed out I did hit improved factories on that turn along with improved construction. So there's the tech shot for the Axis. And there's a common turn in the Allies. Alright, some other stuff. I landed a fighter in Hong Kong, which I later changed in my description to Okinawa, because I was thinking that was Okinawa, but it's Formosa, because you only have Ranger 1 with map. The other non-combat move I changed, which is in our group chat, that we agreed to do this if the other guys ain't done their turn. And I mean, I posted this shortly after my video. I had a fighter and a medium bomber land here in Dutch New Guinea. Instead, they went up here and landed in Korea. The fighter had come from Siam, and the medium bomber had come from, I believe it was in Kyushu or Tokyo. What else? Next one. I had this transport in P50. I had to come up 1, 2, and wasn't looking, and I was, when I put these big markers here, sometimes I forget, and boom, couldn't reach. So he could not go in Port in Ceylon. So instead, he had to stop in I-12. The other thing, I think originally I had left a real sub here, but then I moved it here. Also, a torpedo boat destroyer that went into I-11 will stay with the transport there. Yeah, so he's a little safer. And that was it, I believe, for my boo-boos. So I'll have 71 IPPs instead of 70. Now let's look at what's happening in the world. We'll start on this side over here for the U.S. U.S. is starting to amass their amphibiously assaulting team. They're based out of Hawaii right now and building up also by San Francisco. While I'm at it on this side, here's the build chart. The Americans have a regular battleship at stage 3. I have a heavy battleship at stage 3. They have a light carrier at stage 2, along with a heavy cruiser. The Brits have a light carrier, a heavy cruiser, and a fort under construction in Malta. The Russians have a fort going up in Moscow. The Italians have 2 heavy cruisers over at stage 2. And the Japanese have 2 heavy battleships at stage 2. And the Russians have 21 infantry in the place units box. And that's what's happening on this side. Down in the South Pacific over here, the Anzacs have built up their army in Sydney. Infantry militia, some motorized, a couple of aircraft. They secured New Zealand with a few militia. And they're holding off in Dutch New Guinea with a little bit of an army, 3 infantry and a militia. As it appears the Japanese have their eyes set on some Anzac territory. They picked up Guam from the Americans. Thought I cleaned the whole board off, but nope, left something there. Then they also finish off the Philippines. Then they added some moves to try and move into the Far East Command's territory here in India, taking Maharashtra and southern India. Maybe pulling some British away from the Met. Far East Command's in great shape, though. They had a pretty good army there. 2 Gurkhas, 2 up and back of there in Benares. I believe it's Benares. 5 British infantry, some Anzac infantry. Everybody's got artillery. Some militia, 1 militia. Looks like 7, 6, 8 Far East Command infantry. The other big problem for the Japanese is this. These 2 KMT armies. And we're going to see if the Japanese want to pull some weeds. They tried to pull a weed last turn with cavalry. They now have a mountain infantry. They can just walk in. He likes to pull weeds. That'd be an easy move. The Japanese trying to protect their flank, keep their money territories here in China. Been pulling troops out of Kwantung as it's not as threatened as it once was. We moved our some aircraft to Korea to try and finish off these subs. They convoy raided the Japanese last turn for $9. That's like really good convoy raiding. Japanese have some fleets, some carriers in port in Tokyo. Probably need some aircraft for those babies. Let's see what else. I don't think take off that rail marker. The Russians defending their territories up here. Japanese seem kind of content with where they're at. Down here, no threats to Caucasia or Iran or Turkey. Egypt, pretty safe right now. They're guarding the Middle East over here in Syria, Transjordan, Egypt. The Italians building up a little force. I don't know. I have to see. Cape Town has a couple medium armor down here, just in case the Italians get frisky. They're able to get there quick. Up here in Italy, not much in Italy. Pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. They've just been building some ships. Spain is kind of neutral right now. No fighting going on. Guys are hitting recruitment rolls. The nationalists are ahead, but it's not a fight that's going to happen anytime soon. Down on this end of the board, the Brits moved a medium bomber down here to the west of Africa, hoping to hunt down these German subs that actually convoy raided the Americans last turn outside the Rio line. Maxed it out, which was nice. The Americans had ships on escort duty over here. Seaplane out in Puerto Rico. Some escort duty at the major convoy line over there outside the Med in A44. Gibraltar built up not much, a little bit. You had a couple aircraft, American, a couple infantry, a couple transports. They got their battleships in port. Also, I forgot about that. They get that marine and infantry, a light armor. Could be going anywhere. France. Could be going to the Med. Help out down there. Could be headed to India. Who knows? America on the East Coast. A couple Marines, a few infantry and airborne. Getting ready to depart for the European theater, I believe. We got a infantry down here in Louisiana with actually that's Texas. Yeah, Texas. With a transport and port. The Germans have a bunch of subs off the coast of Nova Scotia here. Liberator, Labrador, 3 advanced subs and a regular sub. Where are they going? Cause problems, I hope. This is the force that's in Lebowski. Bunch of mechanized units, light armor, medium armor, a lot of artillery, infantry, airborne troops. Backing them up in Poland, advanced mechs, some more aircraft, medium bomber, tactical bomber, transport plane, heavy transport plane. The Germans have conquested up here in Norway, taking a piece of Russia up top here in Kola. They own all of Norway at the current time. This provides a nice extra $4 for the Germans every turn between the bonus and the territories. Also threatens Russia in the north. Down here in Romania, huge German mechanized force of motorized and artillery and medium armor getting ready to pounce. And I'm not sure about this defense over here. All the cities are empty. Kiev and Smolensk looks like they're for the taking for the Germans fairly easily. But the Russians do have a big counterforce here in Orel Kursk, but it's not much punching power. A couple light armor, some AA guns, motorized infantry. Most of the Russian Air Force is there, a fighter, a tactical, and a transport. The rest are up there in Leningrad. More infantry, militia, one fighter, 3 AAs. And the rest is basically cannon fodder. Moscow, very thin. 2 militia, a fort under construction, and 5 infantry. So, we'll see what happens. Could be a bloodbath coming up here in about 2 to 3 turns. And that's basically everything going on in the game right now. Top of the board over here, the Americans have militiaed out in their sphere of influence area. They were able to take Guam. They figured they put one there, but we got it. We'll see where we're going next. I don't know. I'm going to take this coastal gun off. That's destroyed. Alrighty. And that's the state of the game at the current time after Japan on 11.3. And I'm sure Silk will be getting a turnout today. Maybe not. It's football Sunday. So I know myself, I won't be doing any of this today. I'll be watching the games. And this is Boston Bruce signing out.